Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.
While analyzing, don't start studying, right? If you know that I'm not good with this, so you just open your book and you just start studying. No. You make a list that I made this mistake and you can also skip over a lot of mistakes. You know that it's a silly mistake because silly mistakes will always be there. Hi, my name is Divyansh. I appeared for CAT 2019 and I scored a 100 percentile. In the VARC section, my percentile was 100 and my raw score was 89. In the DILR section, my percentile was 99.79 and in the quant section, my percentile was 99.98. In 10th standard, I had a 10 CGPA by CBSE board and in 12th, I had a percentage of 91. So there is this Department of Management Studies, which is part of IIT Delhi, but it's a different entity. It's a whole different college. So as part of your undergraduate curriculum, you are allowed to take electives from DMS. So I did that in my final semester, and I kind of at that moment realized when I did that course on financial modeling that maybe finance is the field that I should focus on. And since I was not satisfied with the job that I had, so I decided to give CAT another try in the year 2019. Because I was appearing for CFA Level 1 exam in December, so that was like 10 days after CAT exam, and CFA syllabus is very wide. So my majority of preparation focus was on CFA, but I began in earnest for CAT around, I would say, 1.5 months before. So actually, I appeared for CAT 2018 also, and I had 99.99 percentile in that. So I had a basic idea of what I had to do and what not to do. I was aware of both of these things. So my focus has always been on making sure because I understand that, and this is something which is very important, that CAT is not a test of your knowledge. It's more like a test of your presence of mind. So what you have to do is while preparing, make sure that you replicate the examination scenario to the best of your capabilities. And as everyone says, mocks are important. Yes, they are very important. But I look at mock test as an opportunity to replicate the exact scenario that I'm going to face in the exam. So that's one thing that I have been very particular about, that I used to wake up at 7 and then I would take a bath. I'll have a light breakfast and I'll just sit by 8 on my chair. I would do nothing for 1 hour. And then I'll start with the test at 9 and I'll take the test from 9 to 12. I would not take any bio breaks in between. So I think that process, it's very important that you replicate the exact examination scenario. I wasn't sure about doing an MBA at that moment because, yeah, I was fascinated by finance, but at that moment, I wasn't that sure about it. And I have done this mistake in past and while preparing for IIT JEE. So I did what was the common accepted, ways of doing things, that if you're good at mathematics, you join IIT. I just wanted to be really sure that MBA is the thing I want. And also because I didn't prepare much to get that year. So my stakes were not that high. And I already had a job. There was this conflict that because people recommend that you should have a work experience before you do an MBA, which is something I also agree with. A lot of students, they target a percentile that I'll get a 99.9, I'll get a 99.95. So I believe that's not reasonable because it's not a tangible result because you don't have any control over it. So what I would recommend is that while starting with your preparation at the very start, you just set a score limit. You target 200 marks instead of a percentile of 99.9. So because when you have a target of 200 marks, so that's a very tangible result. That's a very tangible goal, which you can now devise a strategy around that. If I have to score 200, I'll have to get this much in this section. This is my strength. This is my weakness. So it becomes easy to plan. In my personal opinion, I would say that VARC is the most logically challenging section of all three. It's not about how fast you can read. It's about how fast you can understand what you have read. If you have to read a passage over and over again, then you have a problem, right? Because it's mostly about how much you're able to retain. For examination, the best way to attempt a passage which constitutes for more than 70% of the VARC section is to read all the questions, read it from a very objective viewpoint, and find that one question in that one passage which is very generic in nature. I find that one particular question which can give me a brief overview of all the of what the passage is about. While reading the passage, a common mistake that even I used to do was I used to like either if I'm reading from a book, I used to like use my finger to trace what I'm reading. So what happens is that your eyes move faster than your lips, your mouth, and your fingers, right? So it's important that you just you don't do any of these things. Otherwise, because you are just making it harder for you to read fast. That ensures that you are not spending too much time on the reading comprehension part, because when you come to the verbal ability part, so that's entirely something that you should leverage, because if done properly, it's not going to take a lot of time. For preparatory part, I had this habit from my school days only, so that while having a meal, so I have to have something to read. Otherwise, I cannot eat. So that's a problem in social circles. But yeah, but that came in very handy, because since I have been reading so much since school, so my reading speed is fast. So in CAT 2018 and CAT 2019, so I started reading Game of Thrones. So those books are very vast. So there are a lot of things happening at the same time. So I read it. It was very interesting. It didn't feel like I was working. It didn't feel like I was doing this for preparation part. It was mostly fun. So I was actually able to increase my reading speed a lot. For DILR, it's more about practice only, and for that I stand with the coaching institutes. So I just focused on my mock test and the material that my coaching provided me. I have not much to add in that section, because my score has been constant in the 2 years. The line of reasoning is that out of all these three sections, quant is one section which is very predictable, in the sense that there's going to be nothing out of the syllabus. You know what the syllabus is. You have been studying mathematics for at least everyone studies maths till 10th class or 8th class. So that's something you can leverage. The problem comes that this section appears as this is the third section, right? So you're already exhausted by reading so many comprehensions. So for that, mock tests are very important, in the sense that if you do just the quant preparation part, you take a 1 hour quant test every day, that's not going to be of much value to you. What would be more valuable is that you do one paper for verbal, you do one paper for logical reasoning. Then after getting exhausted from these two sections, you move on to the quant section. Basically, it's about stamina. And my strategy for quant used to be that I used to be very fast. I used to read the question. Even if I was 1% unsure that I can do this question, I would skip it. If you're targeting for 100 percentile, you might want to attempt every question, because there would be a misconception in your mind that I have to do everything. You don't have to do everything, right? So my total score was 242. I got 100 percentile at 242. Giving too much time to mock analysis would also be redundant. So what I used to do was, I didn't like analyze every mock after giving it. So as you said, most people go with giving a mock and then analyzing it on the day itself. So what I did was, I would do 3 or 4 mock. It's better to do 3 or 4 mock tests than analyze those 3-4 together. Give a good 2-3 hours for that. So while analyzing, don't start studying, right? If you know that I'm not good with this, so you just open your book and you just start studying. No. You make a list that I made this mistake in, and you can also skip over a lot of mistakes. You know that it's a silly mistake, because silly mistakes will always be there. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. The result came on 4th of January, if I'm not wrong, and I just got back from Goa, so I was in Goa for New Year's Eve. So I was pretty tired, and we were not expecting the results to be coming that soon. You expected it will come on 6th or 7th. So it was a good feeling, and I won't be lying if I say that I had a couple of tears in my eyes, because I kind of knew that I might get 100 percentile. Most probably I will get 100 percentile, but you don't believe it until you get it. So that was a very good feeling. But then, of course, in 2 or 3 days, the interview mails start coming, and you start getting focused on them. I got shortlist from all the top IIMs. I got shortlist from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, from Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore. So these are the only 6 I applied for. Apart from that, I applied for FMS Delhi. So I was pretty much determined that I'll either go for Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta. Otherwise, I'll just go to FMS. So that was my line of reasoning from the very beginning when I took the CAT exam. I've joined FMS and I've been studying there for the last 2 months now.
Hi guys, Inside IM has come up with an exciting new one-on-one mentorship product where you get to interact with superstar managers from different businesses, different functions. You can ask them everything around your career, your education, your future success. If you are interested, the link is in the description below. Thanks.